Hello, mathematicians, and welcome back. Today we're going to be figuring out the equations of our circles right here, okay? So to recap, you should have this in front of you. You should have chosen a location, drawn it out, included your scale, and then included a launching point, a parameter, and a spectator view, okay? And then you've written them over here. So to find the equations of these circles, let's recap what we need. So we need the center and we need the radius, and we're going to put these into our equations, okay? One thing you should do beforehand, which I've already done, is we're obviously we are writing our equation given a graph, right? Well, we need a graph. So it's very important that you include these axes right here. So this is my y-axis and my x-axis. I just drew it on the side. And notice that instead of drawing a tick at every single side, I didn't draw a tick right here and right here and right here. I did it every 3. Why is that? Why did I draw it at every 3? Because my scale is every 3 is 100 feet. This is going to make my life easier when I'm having to multiply and scale it up in a second, okay? So I recommend you make a tick line at every scale that you chose. So if you chose 2 squares or 4 squares, I recommend doing those ticks right there, okay? So you need to pause the video and go ahead and do that, because if not, our calculations, you're going to get a little confused. So I'm going to write the circle equation of my purple circle. It does not matter what order you do it in. Oh, I don't have purple. I'm going to do pink for now, okay? So I'm going to do it for my purple circle. Sorry, here, this is my safety parameter. I also insist that you have a separate sheet of paper for your calculations. You don't want to do your calculations all over here. It's going to get messy and it's not professional. So I have a second sheet, and you're going to turn this one in also, okay? So don't lose it. So safety parameter. Okay, we're going to find the equation of our circle. So recap, we need 2 things. The first one is center. We need to find the center. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here, center. So the center of my purple circle is also the center of the green one because they're overlapping, okay? So I need to figure out what the heck that is, okay? So I'm going to count my tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and unfortunately we make it shy of 11. So it looks like it's 10 and then 1, 2, and then we make it. So we need it, so 2 out of the 3 squares makes it to my tick line. So my center is going to be, and remember that the center is a point. So it should be x, y like this, okay? So it's going to be 10 and about 2/3 of the way to the next one, right? Because it's 2 squares and there's 3 in total. So that's my x value. Now let's figure out my y value, okay? So I'm trying to figure out how to get to this point. So I go 1, this is my first line right here. And my second, oh, you can't see me doing it. So this is my first tick mark. I don't quite make it. Second tick mark, and we make it. So my second one's going to be at 2. Okay. So again, notice that I'm not counting every single square. I'm doing it based off of my scale. So that is my center, and remember x and y right here. Now I need to find my radius. Well, luckily, in the last video, I think I had made this, that this is 150 feet. But I'm going to show you how to do it by counting the squares, okay? So it's easiest to go in one of the 4 lines that is directly up, down, or side to side, because the squares line up nicely. So if I'm going to go up, I see that this is 3 squares, and then I don't make it exactly to the next 3. So So for my radius, I make it 3 squares. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1.5 of a square. So let's remember that 3 squares is equal to 100 feet, okay? But what's 1.5 equal to? Well, 1.5 is half of 3. So this is 1.5 is half of 3. You can check it. You could do 3 divided by 2 and you get 1/2, okay? So if I'm scaling it up, if 1.5 is half of 3, then that means when I scale it up, it's going to be half of 100. So half of 100. Half of 100 is 50. So my radius is going to be 150 feet, okay? Which lines up with what we did, okay? So I've already taken an extra step here. I've already scaled it up. So this is me scaling. We're also going to have to scale these guys up, okay? So remember that each of these squares, remember because I did it by 3, is equal to 100. So I have to do times 100 times 100. So my center, and the reason we're scaling up is because when we go out to the actual land to set up our launching point, it's not going to be equal to just 2. 2 what? You're not being specific. These are like 2 centimeters here. Over there, we're going to be working with feet. So it's really important that we show our work with feet. So we have to use our scale. So I have my calculator here. So I'm going to do 10 and 2/3. Just to recap, I know we're not the best at all our fractions. 10 and 2/3 is equal to 10 plus 2/3, okay? So I'm going to figure out what this guy is as a decimal. So I'm just going to do 2 divided by 3, and I get I'm going to round, 0.7, okay? I don't want big numbers. And 10 is just, well, 10. So what's 10 plus 0.7? 10.7. And that's how you make any decimal, any fraction into a decimal, okay? But let's recap. So I'm trying to multiply it by 100 because that's my scale. So I'm going to do 10.7 times 100. And I get 10,070. Next, I'm going to do 2 times 100. 2 times 100. And I get 200. So this is my center, and my radius is 150 feet, okay? So now I'm going to plug it into my circle equation. So it's going to be x minus my x value, so 1070 squared plus y minus 200 squared equals 150 squared. Now you can do this on the calculator if you want, or you can just leave it like that because that's going to give me a huge number, okay? And this is my equation. So I'm going to circle that. And the next thing I'm going to do is I want to be able to find this easily. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to add this right here to my safety parameter, okay? If I had a marker, I would use a marker. I don't have a black marker right now. So this is going to be x minus 1070 squared plus y minus 200 squared equals 150 squared. Just so I can easily find it, okay? So you're going to do this for the next 2 circles, okay? You need all 3. I just want to show you one. I know it seemed like a long process, but it's because I went very slow. Good luck. And as a hint for your green square, you already have the center. Because notice that the green square and the purple square, listen to me, The green circle and the purple circle have the same center. The only thing that's different are the radiuses. So you have some work cut out there. Good luck. And I hope you have fun.